Yo, this is the Scarcity Studios YouTube channel. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. And our sponsors are Alpha Claims and Hire Birmingham, the leading and best accident management company. Get a replacement car anywhere in 1 hour. I really appreciate you joining me today, and this story comes from Solihull, which is on the outskirts of Birmingham. And this is an ongoing trial due to the severity of the evidence I'm reading, because children dying at the hands of their parents has become far too familiar a story that I'm covering. I've done about 3 stories this year in relation to this, and Birmingham social services have come under heavy criticism in the past for failings to protect children. How on earth in 2021 a 6-year-old is able to be starved and also abused by his own parents, I struggle to understand. Arthur Hughes was 6 years old, and I've got a 6-year-old myself, so this is even more difficult for me to do. He was found unresponsive at his home in Cranmore Road, Shirley in Solihull on June the 16th last year. He died at Birmingham Children's Hospital the day after. A post-mortem confirmed that his death was caused by a head injury. Arthur's father, Thomas Hughes, 29, from Stroud Road, Shirley, and Emma Tustin, 32, from Cranmore Road, was arrested and subsequently charged with his murder. They have both pled not guilty to the charges, and the father's girlfriend, Tustin, has admitted 1 count of assaulting a child, but denied any other offence. The trial is taking place at Coventry Crown Court, which is a substitute court at the COVID-19 pandemic. The prosecution has said in the trial that the 6-year-old was terrorised, neglected and emotionally and physically abused in the months that led up to his death. Arthur Hughes was found unresponsive. Audios were played in court of Arthur crying, and the prosecution said that it was inconceivable that a reasonable carer who was unaware that the prolonged isolation, forcible standing and control of access to food and drink were the cause of his distressed state. He was desperately asking for help, and it appears very clear in the audios that he was calling for his uncle and grandparents and expressing that he wanted adults to care for him and put an end to the suffering. Arthur's father said that Arthur injured himself, but an expert ruled out that he could have caused such injuries. They also said in court that there was evidence of salt poisoning, that there was contaminating his food and also fluids, possibly trying to dehydrate him, the prosecution said. The court said that between the times of 11:45 a.m. and 1:45 p.m. on June the 16th, Arthur consumed 34 grams of salt. His father told the police that his son had been spitting out his food and was refusing to eat and hitting people. He said Arthur banged his head on the floor and was breathing but not responsive. The court heard that his girlfriend Tustin told the police officer Arthur had been on the thinking step due to bad behaviour and began hitting his head against the radiator and the floor at least 3 times. Arthur's father and his girlfriend have consistently tried to blame Arthur for his own injuries. Arthur's father's girlfriend did not call the police or emergency services after the incident occurred. Arthur was fatally injured in his father's girlfriend's care while his dad was out shopping. His girlfriend had messaged him to say at 1:30 that she was complaining about his screaming. He told the court at 1:40 Hughes texted Tustin explaining that he'd spotted his mother in Sainsbury's and asked Tustin to move him to the back door in case his mum visited. She then sent an image of Arthur's face that had a blue mark on to his father and told him that he'd threw himself against the wall. His girlfriend made further complaints about Arthur biting her, and Arthur's dad told her to just end him. Neighbours had described seeing Arthur and said that he looked like a shell of his former self. Arthur had even asked them for a glass of water, and they had to hold it to his mouth because he was so weak and couldn't do it. Arthur was made to spend up to 14 hours a day standing on his own. This is what they thought was punishment, and they denied him the opportunity to eat his meals, sit with members of the family, and also denied access to water. The girlfriend had 200 audio files of Arthur in various stages of distress, and CCTV footage from outside the house on Cranmore Road was subsequently recovered and clips were played in court, although they do not show the full room. Further text messages where the dad had said, "I'm going to rip the kid's jaw off," and the girlfriend also said, "I'm going to chin the little cunt. I swear to God." She also described him as selfish and said that she was going to dash the food off his head. She also messaged a friend at the same time as well, saying that she was going to knock him out if he continued to do this. There was further messages from the father telling the girlfriend to throw him in the bin and to throw him away. Various members of Mr. Hankins' family had reported him to social services in relation to the care of Arthur. His grandmother was the first to do so. Upon the visit from social services, they didn't discover any injuries apart from a bruise on his shoulder, and the social services involvement was discontinued in April on the 18th. The police also said there was no evidence that Arthur even lived in the house. There was no children's toys, children's bedding, or even food. This is just another example of failures in the system and also society as well. How was this child not saved earlier on? How did this get so far that he ended up dying in the hands of the people that he loved? So I really want to hear what people have to say on this story. And rest in peace to Arthur Hughes. And I'll be back again very shortly with some more news.